It's a very good afternoon, and it's Friday yet again. Welcome to Careers and Prospects. My name is Tonderai. I'm your host here on Transformed Life Radio. Well, this week we are looking at preparing your personality. It is very important that as you pursue your career and as you have seen the prospects that you can explore and position yourself to be able to create and deliver value in the lives of others, the next important thing that I think is very important for you to think about is how do you prepare your personality? Might sound something a little strange, but let's talk about that for a moment because your personality is very, very important. I'll give you just a few examples of why this is so. For example, you want to be an accountant. If you do not tame and prepare your personality, there are certain maybe temptations or negative opportunities that you may be exposed to that may lead you into embezzlement or unethical practices that may see a person maybe becoming imprisoned or being deregistered from practicing as an accountant, something like that. Or if you are a medical doctor, for example, there are some unethical practices that if you fall into them, you may be deregistered. You may no longer be able to practice as a doctor anymore. So why are we talking about this? This is because the best way to solve a problem is to prevent it. And once you position yourself on the preventive front, you are better positioned to deal with the problem because you are preventing that problem from happening. It can be a very, very terrible challenge if in your professional place of purpose, having trained over the years and maybe gained some experience, and just because of some unethical practices which are attributable to poor personality, you find yourself doing something that you should not do in that area of function, then you lose out. You lose your license. You are not able to practice anymore, and you lose your reputation. You lose your goodwill. It will dent you negatively. And so what we are talking about here is that much as what you do academically is important, in as much as having identified good prospects and a career path to follow, all this is important. It is very important that you work on your personality, on your character. It is very important because if you develop a positive personality, a personality of loyalty, a personality of being law abiding, a personality of faithfulness, all this is wisdom that when you have an opportunity to be corrupt, when you have an opportunity to steal, when you have an opportunity to enrich yourself unjustly, you frown at that. You frown at that. That is very positive. But if you are a person who is misled by a desire for something lucrative, even if it's filthy, and there's an opportunity for you to stray out of the guidelines and the scope of the ethics that you should abide with, and you find yourself straying into things that you should not do, it can cost you your career. It can cost you the prospects that you would have spent so many years to prepare yourself for. So think about this. It is very important to build a positive personality, to prepare your personality. And one of the things that I want to say before we end this week's edition is that your personality is prepared significantly by the people that you befriend. By that I mean people that are close to you, people that you are exposed to. If you're exposed to positive people, if you're exposed to people with goodly personalities, good people with good personalities, you find that you will be predisposed to develop the same. And if you expose yourself to terrible people, criminal people, people that may be corrupt, people that are immoral, people that indulge in substances that destroy even their own bodies, such kind of exposure could see you also becoming like them, and it can develop in you a negative personality that can cost your career and your prospects. Until we meet again next week here on Transform Life Radio, my name is Tonderai. I'm looking forward to next week's edition as we talk about careers and prospects.